Hi, this is my G7X Mark II. I love this camera. It is my baby. I love the photos so much. I'm currently living abroad in Edinburgh and I have taken some photos so far. I'm gonna walk you through some of the photos and why I love and sometimes don't like this camera. This photo is my favorite photo so far. It was taken by my boyfriend and he's usually a lot better at taking photos than I am. For one, I'm in focus, which is something I've struggled with so far with the G7X, is just making sure my photos are in focus. Two, the flash is on, and I feel like you really need to take full flash photography with the G7X to get that really glowy Y2K look to it. This was taken on one of our first nights there, just across from the National Galleries. We see the Scots Memorial and like St. James Quarter in the background. I just think it's a really good photo. Like, my skin is glowing. I'm in focus. The buildings in the background are like very rich and the colors are vibrant. So I surprisingly took this photo, given my track record of taking photos that are out of focus. I feel like this one is in focus. This was at Company Bakery. My boyfriend ordered a espresso and I got a chai latte with full fat milk. It was absolutely stunning and pretty good. I just liked how the morning light was kind of coming in through this window and the camera just picks up really like the tones really well, and they look very, the photo looks like the colors look very vibrant. I think it's pretty okay in terms of composition, but I just really loved this photo and I think it's kind of like a good example of what the G7X can do. The flash was off, but I think, yeah, I just kind of picked up like the tones of the sun coming through the window, and it's a super boring photo, but I really like it. And I think it's just one of those random photos you take when you go to a coffee shop with someone you love, and that's just what it reminds me of. This photo, we had missed our train that morning, so we had to take an Uber into the city, and our first stop was a camera store about 10 minutes away from St. James Quarter. I feel like the photo is a little bright and unfocused, probably because I was just like on video mode vlogging and just snapped a photo, but I had the flash off and it was overexposed by like one stop. But I like the juxtaposition of the bright red and blue shops against like the gray bricks. I'm learning that like that's one of my favorite things to photograph here, is like I love brightly colored doors against kind of like the very, I don't know, plain gray looking doors. So this photo I snapped either before or after getting a matcha latte from the milkman, the one on Lower Cockburn Street. This was when we were staying in the city. This is just on the street from our hotel. I'm not like super keen on this photo. The flash was off. It's a little like pale, not super vibrant. And I feel like the composition isn't ideal. It's a little wonky, but I was vlogging again and just kind of stopping as I was walking to snap a photo. But I like the stairs and I wanted to like save the, I don't know, like going to the milkman. So here, this photo, we finally arrived at our destination after walking all the way from the camera store to Stockbridge to Lennon Bakery. There was no queue actually, which we were pleasantly surprised, because I feel like whenever you see it on TikTok or like read about it, they're always like, the queue is like 2 hours long, but there was no queue there and there was still a good amount of things left. Like, I think they were kind of missing some of their heavy hitters like the cardamom bun, but we were able to get like a caprese, kind of like a tomato chutney caprese sandwich, a pain au chocolat, and like a custard thing. It was like a thick layer of like an egg custard that was like lemon flavored with like two very thin crust pastries with like a layer of raspberry white chocolate on top. That was pretty good. I would say it was fairly good. I don't eat a lot of pastries because I can't eat gluten, but everything looked, the croissant was very flaky, very nice lamination. The custard was super good, and the bread that the sandwich was on was like It had like a crunchy crust, but the inside was like super soft, so it wasn't like that sourdough that like scrapes your mouth. So probably 10 out of 10. This photo, we were still staying in the city. It was that night we were just walking around St. James Quarter, and that just kind of little square there. This is, I think, like the famous like Instagram, TikTok photo you see of Edinburgh when you're walking out of Waverley Station and you have like kind of all of Old Town Edinburgh there. Nothing really too special about this photo. Again, it's kind of blurry and out of focus. It's darker, which I like. I can't remember if the flash is on or not, but I like, you know, you kind of see the lights from the shops like in the windows. Not the best in terms of composition, but I think it's fairly a bit more focused than the other ones. It's the same like photo as the first photo I showed, except the settings are entirely different. I like this one because it kind of gives, well, and my boyfriend took it, and so I always like the photos he takes of me because they're much better than whatever I take. But it's kind of giving that like, hopefully, I think it's giving that like Euro kind of Pinterest vibe of like slightly out of focus girl like in Paris or something. And so that's why I like it. I just kind of like that it's out of focus. And just kind of gives that like, I don't know, kind of blurry, ethereal look. Flash was off for this one, obviously, because I'm not glowing. But I don't know, I think it just like captures the essence of like being caught off guard maybe in a photo, and it's not superposed, and I think that's why I like it. Photo my boyfriend took again, and I'm wearing my brand new pink Adidas Speciales that I was super stoked to find at Famous Footwear. This morning we went down to Company Bakery, which is supposed to have really good pastries, and I saw they had these giant Swiss meringues that were like this big, but unfortunately they were out the day that we went. It's kind of in this little like square with like a restaurant, and looks like a wedding venue, and so we were just kind of walking around, working off my full fat dairy chai latte. I think like it kind of like is a bit more vibrant. My boyfriend is much better at settings than I am, but I like it because like you can kind of see the sun coming through, and the bricks are just more like a lot more rich and vibrant than like what I was capturing when I was walking around in the city. And I feel like it kind of gives off Pinterest vibes. Maybe not, but in my head it does. Photo I took myself, it was like shortly after the ones that my boyfriend took of me, like with this Scott monument in the background, but this is right outside the National Galleries. Obviously the sun went down. I think the flash was still off, which is why it's a little out of focus, but I like how the G7X was kind of able to capture the lights, like the street lamps, and kind of has like a little bit of like a blooming effect. If it was a bit more well composed and like the flash was on and less blurry, I think there's potential I would really like this photo. But I think the G7X, like the sensor does really well at like kind of capturing that woman's white jacket and like the halation around the street lamps. I just like the pointy like Gothic medieval architecture in the background.